Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I'm Deanna Oaks, and this is Marybeth Burke, and we're here at the AAERT Convention, just doing a little bit of meet and greet. Marybeth, how did you get into the industry? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So my father started a company called Burke Court Reporting in 1980. And after college, I had gone, throughout college, I guess I had worked for him every now and then. And after college, I went back to work for him full time, and then I took over. And now we do court reporting and transcription. So we changed the name of our company a couple years ago to Burke Court Reporting and Transcription. And we're doing transcription now for multiple states throughout the country who digitally record and then send it out to transcribers.
That's awesome. So the remote situation has allowed you guys to do a lot more nationwide, it sounds like.
Yes and no. We've always been mainly the Northeast because we do government contracting for court reporters. So our court reporters are still in the same areas that they were. But in terms of our transcription, because more states have gone digital and they have to send it out to, transcription companies who know what they're doing and are going to get the transcript accurate, we are working with other states like Oregon and Massachusetts and multiple bankruptcy courts throughout the country.
Okay. So that's a huge reach. I mean, Oregon to Massachusetts, basically the entire country.
And
right?
New Jersey, of course, but we've always done New Jersey.
Right.
So the other two are not New Jersey.
Yeah. So was it hard to, get into, did you find it hard to get integrated? I mean, I know your father was already in the business, so was it a seamless transition for you?
So we started way back in the day on BM 246s, which are tapes, and the state of New Jersey actually used to do tape. And when digital came along, we went from tape to digital. So all of the reporters we use were never stenographers to begin with. They were always using tape. So when they went into digital, they had to learn computers. So some of them were not really computer literate. So they had to be trained on the computers and the software. And then, of course, now you send instead of FedExing in tapes, we email in, you can't email it, you Dropbox it or securely send your audio.
Yes, send your file. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So with the digital versus the tape, I mean, is it not only, I imagine the quality has got to be better, what are the other advantages to being digital?
The quality is better. It's easier if, in terms of proofing it, if you need to check it over, and I check over everything that comes through my desk, I don't have to say, hey, I need those tapes, but my transcriber's 3 towns away. I got to go get them.
Right.
I have that audio in my server, and it's always saved. Everything that comes in is cataloged and saved. I can find audio like that because it's linked to the case. So I just pull up the case, and then I find the audio, and I don't have to go searching for it.
Yeah, that's so convenient.
Yeah.
And how would you say the drive for the business is? Do you guys have more business than you can handle? Do you need to reach more young people, new professionals?
We do have a lot of business, and the pandemic has totally changed the industry. So right now, it's starting to slow down again because once courts went back, there was such a backlog and everything was crazy. So we still have plenty of business. We're happy where we are. It's slowing down because it's summer and because the courts are catching up.
Right.
It actually almost feels normal right now.
Oh, imagine
but
that.
Not quite there.
Right. So what would you say to new professionals that are looking maybe I know when I was 18, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I mean, my goodness, I'm 40. I still don't know what I want to do. Well, I mean, would you recommend this is a great thing for young people to try? Yeah. I mean, how do we get people into this and get them exposed to this?
I think the younger generation wants everything quicker and faster, and they don't want to do the work. And there is a lot of work that goes into transcription. You have to make sure everything's right. You have to proofread. You have to research. You have to make sure you get the spellings. And to reach who we need, I don't know because it's not really something that I've been involved in the past. But I would say, career fairs and all this, and the community colleges. And I know, the graduation rate at Steno School has not always been the best.
I mean, yeah, we can share with the audience. We just found out that the attrition rate for stenographers is lower than Navy SEALs, which is mind-boggling to me. That is crazy.
So I know a lot of those, obviously you've got people who are interested in the field.
Yep.
But they're not getting to the point where they can do the steno. So those are great candidates to come back and do regular transcription because they're not getting that 250, words a minute.
Yeah.
But they could do 100.
Right.
So this is a good fit for them.
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously they have interest in the industry
Yep.
because they tried to go into it.
Yeah, and the good thing about the industry is that it's, job security, right? There's always going to be legal
Yes.
work available. There's always going to be legal proceedings.
Absolutely.
And, perhaps we should take a step back because there are people that don't know what transcriptioners are. They don't really have
Yeah.
a concept of what goes on in the courtroom or even in depositions. I know when I tell people I'm going to a deposition, they're like, what is that? So can you dumb it down just, in 2 sentences or less, maybe? What is it? And you don't have to if it takes you,
I know.
to...
Everyone always says, "Oh, what are you doing?" I had to dumb it down. So
You're used to this.
we contract for the federal government. We make transcripts of proceedings and we sell them to lawyers.
Okay, perfect. So the lawyers are your clients
Yeah.
then. Okay, great. And then when you say that you make the transcript, are you putting the recording into a speech recognizable
We don't
engine?
use speech recognition. All my transcribers are old school. They're still all transcribing from scratch. I do have some that are using speech recognition, and I'm finding that the younger generation likes that better.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you're going to use it, I don't care how you get a transcript as long as that transcript is accurate.
Agreed.
But it better be accurate.
Yeah.
And, you better proof it against the audio and make sure that it's a good transcript.
And that is so valuable because I think that there's a lot of different entities within our field that are kind of not sure about that sort of security method. So I think that that's really the most important part, right? It doesn't matter if you show up with a tape recorder or a stand-out machine. It's just the accuracy, right? That really is the main.
And if you're going to use speech recognition, that's fine, but make sure you proof it to the audio.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it'll drop words. It's honestly not as great as the demonstrations. I know that from working with it. I know that from seeing people that work with it. And it doesn't always pick up everything. Or, it'll put words in that don't work.
That are totally wrong, right?
Yes.
You're,
like
how
I
did you
know
get this?
we do a lot of labor stuff. It puts in gentlemen for journeymen almost every time.
Really? That's interesting.
And if you're proofing it against the audio, you're going to catch it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do one of these questions
Okay.
here. Why don't you go ahead and press the...
Do I spin it?
I think you should press it in the middle there.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go. Do I have to hit stop?
All right, let me turn it a little bit here. What is one piece of advice you would give to someone exploring a career in court reporting?
Know that it's a demanding field, but there's always going to be something interesting.
Yeah.
You're always going to hear interesting things. You're always, but it is worth it, because there's always going to be new stuff. Like every trial or deposition is different. You always have those oh my god moments, and you have to keep a straight face. And
Yes.
it's always very entertaining.
It can be, for sure. And one last question for you. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment? What are you the most proud of in your career?
I've run a pretty successful business and raised a family at the same time.
That's monumental.
And I, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, and you
know.
should be proud.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed our conversation and learning a little bit from Marybeth, and tune in for some more.